All right, welcome to the FeedBak podcast, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Back. A couple announcements. Make sure you go to the archive. I had a lot of people, really funny people on the show. So go back and check it out. Leave a comment, review, whatever on iTunes if you can. 5 stars is good. 4 stars is good too. Anything under that, I don't care what you think. Let's see what else. Yeah, follow the FeedBak everywhere. BAK because that's my name. I'm tired of this joke. And yeah, let me introduce today's guest. I got very funny Benbo in the building.
What's up, man?
How you doing, man?
Bro, I'm chilling, man.
No, thank you for coming.
Here. Yeah, thank you for having me. This is a dope little spot. I keep staring at that Patrice painting.
Yeah, shout out to Chris Rogers.
Chris Rogers? Who's Chris Rogers?
He's the muralist, like the artist who does live.
For Kill
Tony.
Tony.
Yeah, that's him.
He's the one that did that?
Yeah, and I bought it from him, yeah.
Oh, man, that's out.
Like Patrice is my top number one.
Patrice is no other. One. I was about to say, how much did you pay for that? I mean,
I'm not going to tell you.
You're not going to say?
No,
okay.
No,
I was like,
it's ridiculous.
No, well, I was going to be like, how much would it cost to buy that off of you?
No.
Oh, no, not like that?
No.
Oh, bro, that painting is so hard.
No, it is. He did a Carlin one, too. I mean, he did a bunch, and he did a Carlin one, and I wanted to buy it from George Carlin.
Oh, Carlin. Okay,
sorry,
yeah. No.
Yeah, George Carlin.
Was talking about Carlin, whatever that did with Patrice.
Yeah, and it was like, yo, it's gonna be about like 400 something or 500 something. I'm like, I'm gonna have to save up. Just keep it for me. But I really want that George Carlin hit. And the other day when I was over at Vulcan, and we're just shooting the shit, and he was like, yeah, who else should I do? And we spend like 20 minutes making a list of comics that he's gonna do.
He should do Eddie Murphy from Delirious.
Yeah, I mean that's on there.
The Eddie Murphy classic one. Some other unforgotten ones. I used to love Def Jam comedy as a kid. Obviously,
I remember that. Yeah.
So like my favorites on there, Bernie Mac.
Yeah,
gotta do
kick ass. I ain't scared of you, motherfuckers.
I ain't scared of you, motherfuckers. That's my shit. I love that. So that's a good one to do. Chris Tucker when he was like 20, he does a Def Jam special.
Yeah, the old Chris Tucker.
He's rocking the Colorado Rockies hat and like the leather jersey. That one's dope. I love those. Like Patrice is the GOAT. Like he's not the GOAT in my eyes in terms of best comedy ever, but like in my favorite comic to like just watch his style and like because it's so different than anybody else.
Have you seen him live?
Patrice? I know I never saw him live.
I'm going to brag because I have.
You saw Patrice live?
Right before Elephant in the Room came out. He came to Austin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, about like 9 months before it came out. And I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so much. I was front row.
Man, I wasn't even 21 when I was barely 21 the year he died because he died in 2011?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
something
I think
like that,
I just turned 21 that year, and I just like started really because I went through like a stage when I was a kid. I watched a lot of like Def Jam and old school comedy.
Did you watch Comic View? Was Comic View around at the time?
Yeah, I watched like BT Comic View, and like I used to watch a little bit of that. But then I didn't watch comedy for a minute, but I started kind of getting back into it towards like the end of my college. And then that was around like 2011, 2012. And then at that point I got super into Patrice and I watched Elephant in the Room.
It's the best comedy special ever made.
He gives no fucks.
No.
Like
Happy Harassment Day.
Yeah. When he walks out and he's like, and hello to a pair of particular titties in the front row. Like you just walked out and just called out the girl with the titties right there.
And hello.
Yeah. And then he tells that girl during the special, he's like, girl, how old are you? And she's like 22. He's like, I bet that pussy tastes like hope.
No, I didn't get and he was like that on stage and off stage.
Off stage, yeah. He was just like he was real. He was raw, you know, and you can't because now everything's so curated, right? Like everyone's got their like social media image and media managers and everyone's scared to get canceled. So everything's really like a curated image. It's like, I'm very prim and proper and this is how I'm supposed to look. Yeah. But like Patrice didn't fuck with any of that. He didn't give a fuck. And it's like you can't it's so hard to find that raw and that realness in like anyone today. Like,
but that was to his detriment because you saw the documentary, right?
Killing is Easy?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen parts of it. I didn't watch all of it yet.
So, I mean, the more of his story is like for someone that talented, like a comic kind of thing.
Yeah, he was a comics comic to like
that
the
like you love him, you hate him, but the dude is just naturally funny and really does not give a shit about anything.
No, he did not give a fuck.
Exactly. And you're like, how come it's not on? He didn't get on the show or got bigger than he did. You think someone like that would, but that's how much he didn't give a shit about the industry.
Yeah, well,
just being part of that whole fucking business thing. He was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do me. But he had opportunities, but he fucked them up because of who he is, because of his personality and the way he comes across. He's just an asshole. Bro, at the end of the day, he's an asshole.
He was an asshole. That's the thing. But it's the blessing and the curse, right?
Exactly.
Because it's like, oftentimes your biggest strength is right next to your biggest weakness. Like there's a thin line between what's your biggest strength and what's your biggest weakness. And Patrice is a perfect example of that. Like his biggest strength was that he did not give a fuck. Because he didn't give a fuck, he was able to be so real, so raw, and that's what made him so funny and endearing to comics, because like they're just like, I can't believe that Patrice is saying this. And it's just like the honesty behind what he's saying is so real. But when that carries over to like, yeah, hey, they're trying to do this. Nah, I'm not with that bullshit. Fuck this contract. Fuck this studio. Fuck these guys. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to show up for this. I'm not going to pander and show up for this signing or show up to this fucking thing. It's the same realness that's like, it's like opposite sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
They're the same thing, just manifested in different ways. And so it's like the blessing of the curse. To have the real raw Patrice O'Neal, you needed to have that same asshole who didn't give a fuck about the industry. Because if he did, then he would think twice about what he said, and he wouldn't have been as honest. He wouldn't have been as raw. He would have worried about his image, and you would never had the Patrice. So it's like they go hand in hand.
Do you remember there was a clip of him when he went on CNN? I think it was CNN or Fox, one of those things.
Yeah,
and he explained what a donkey punch was, and what a pirate, angry pirate.
Angry
like, what's a pirate? Well, you should come in the girl's eyes, and she goes, "Arr!" Some shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, nobody else could say that but him.
No one else had the balls to say that but him.
On national television. Yeah. He just dropped that because it was a whole segment about, do jokes go too far? And he had that one quote, and to this day, Rogan quotes him all the time. He goes, a bad joke and a good joke come from the same place. You're just trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Right? It can work, it cannot work. But the idea, you can't be mad at someone trying to be funny. It can bomb and there's consequences to it. It can be good and have consequences to it. But at the end of the day, that's all you're trying to do.
Oh yeah, I use that all the time, because at the end of the day, it's the exact same thing, right? You everyone loves you when you say something funny, but then you try something that's not funny, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're such a monster." But it's like you can only say something very funny like that by willing to be trying to go on a risk and go out on a limb, and sometimes that's the whole point. Yeah, and so like a lot of people don't understand that, and it's kind of like the same thing about like killing a comedy set. Like in order to kill in a set, you have to be willing to risk bombing and eating a dick on stage,
like I did 2 days ago.
Yeah, they go hand in hand. Like if you
were there, shut up.
Wait, where did we eat dicks at? Where was that?
I did,
but where at?
At the mic at the Romo room on Thursday, and I fucking froze.
Oh yeah, that was the freezing wasn't. But it's like that room is like it's already like a death trap room. Like there's no one there but comics.
No, but you know why I felt horrible? It's because I brought 2 dudes from the other room that I met like 10 minutes before to come see me do this open mic. And halfway through my shit, I fucking froze. And they were like, "Yeah, you did good." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up." That was horrible. No, but anyway.
I don't know. That shit happens. It happens. I remember the first time I froze on stage. I was probably like, I was less than a year in. And I was like, oh shit. I just remember I was in this room with like 200 people. I remember someone in the audience yelled, "Say something." And the set was going decently well, but I was trying to think of a joke.
On the spot?
No, not on the spot. A joke I wanted to do, and for some reason I couldn't remember this joke.
You had so many in your head that you didn't know what to pick, so you just froze?
No,
that's what happened to me then.
No, I had a set list where back then I didn't have like jokes and materials. I had like 5 minutes worth of material, and I'm trying to remember what one of my jokes was that I was going into next, and I couldn't. And I just was like, and I just stayed there. And then somebody in the crowd was like, "Say something." I was like, "Oh shit,
something."
Yeah, it was like, yeah, I don't know.
It happens. I mean, I'm not. I was, of course, I was mad at myself. I'm like, I'll do better next time. But it's part of it.
Yeah,
it's part of the process.
Bombing. It's the other side of that same thing. It's just that same thing you talk about. When in order to kill, you got to be willing to bomb. And sometimes you just go up there and you eat a dick. And I've done that before.
You're from Africa too.
Yeah.
You're the second African person I've had on this podcast.
Who was the first?
Godfrey.
Godfrey? Oh, fuck him. All right. I'm the original. I'm just kidding.
Well, he's from Nigeria. You're
Right.
from Congo, right?
Yeah, I'm from the Congo Democratic Republic of, not to be confused with the Republic of Congo. Those are the Congo Brazzaville, as we call them. Those guys, fuck them. No one cares. All right.
Why? What's the beef there?
It's not. There's no beef. It's just the difference is they're separated by a river. But Congo Kinshasa is where. That's where the shit goes down. That's where you got like the minerals and the child soldiers and the violence and the civil war. Like that's all in the Congo Kinshasa because for a country that's had so many resources and been blessed by it, it has been also blessing and a curse. You have all these natural resources and your country's like a bountiful and it's like that's a blessing.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the world is like, oh, we need all that shit.
We won't take it all.
Yeah, we're going to take all of it. And it's a lot cheaper if you guys don't give it to us. We just have some rebels. You know, like, for example, there's a country like Rwanda is the world's leading exporter of minerals that are not found in the country. But Rwanda's right next to Congo. It's like, how are you going to be the leading exporter of minerals that aren't found in your country? Because if it comes from the Congo, it's like a blood or conflict mineral.
Yeah.
But if they just take it and the rebels move it over to Rwanda, we're clean. We're clean, dude. We're fucking good.
They got the game down. That's good,
Bro,
for them.
yeah, you wonder how like everyone's always like, oh, it's so bad the Civil War there. How do these people with no money keep funding wars? Wars are fucking expensive. So you start following the money trail and you start seeing that it's a fucked up game, and everyone's in on it.
Were you born there?
Yeah, so I was born in the Congo.
And then when did you come here?
I moved here when I was about 4.
So did you go back? Do you have family?
I haven't been back yet. The rest of my family is back there instead of my immediate family. So my immediate family's here in the States, but the rest of my family, cousins, uncles.
Did you go back? Have you gone back?
I have not gone back yet. The Congo
Since 4?
Yeah.
Since age 4?
The Congo's not the kind of place you just go back to, you know? Like it's not it's hard to get back into the Congo.
It's always the because I'm from Senegal, as you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's always the question I get because when I say Senegal and they automatically think, oh, it's one of those war-torn countries, African countries, is like warlords. It's like, what the fuck is a warlord, first of all? And then they assume, like, no, we're cool over there. We eat rice and we chill out. We're good. Because that's the assumption.
Right. Well, that's the thing. And there's a lot of places, especially like in Western Africa, that aren't like that. The Congo happens to be one of the places that is like that.
Yeah.
So that's like you say warlord. You ever seen that movie, Lord of War?
Which one is that? Is that the one about the weapons?
With Nicolas Cage?
No.
Oh, he's an arms dealer. It's a good movie, but then whenever someone says warlord, I always just think of that movie because he's like, he calls him a lord of. He's like, you are a lord of war, and Nicolas Cage is like, I think you mean warlord, and the guy's like, I like it better my way. You know? So anytime someone says warlord, I'm like, you mean lord of war. Yeah. It's a good movie though. It's like
I'll check it out. I saw the other one with Jonah Hill. And that other kid, and they sell guns.
Yeah, like Gun Dog or whatever, or something dog.
War Dog.
War Dog.
Yeah, that's the one. That's one I saw. I thought that was based on a real story.
Yeah, something like that. That one's decent. I think Lord of War is a better movie though. Like
it's Nicolas Cage. I'll watch Nicolas Cage joint.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage. He had some classics like Gone in 60 Seconds.
That was a good one. Face Off was dope.
Face Off.
Face Off was dope.
I don't get people make fun of it a lot, but that's a good one.
Have you seen the new one called Pig?
Pig?
Yeah, I haven't seen the trailer or anything. It just came out. It's called Pig. It's him it's like John Wick, but with a pig. Some shit like that.
That sounds bootleg as fuck. Is that Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, it is. Nicolas Cage. You have to like put on weight.
That's the problem with Nicolas Cage. He'll do anything.
Apparently.
Yeah, anything. They're like, hey, John Wick with a pig. I like it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
When was the last dope Nicolas Cage movie? Like, remember the National Treasure joints?
Yeah, those were probably the last good ones, right? The first one.
The first one. Did I watch? No, I didn't watch. There was another one though, right?
Yeah, there's like 3 of them now.
I only watched one because that kind of shit. I'm always kind of. Why'd you need a second one? Like you're good. You don't need. There's National Treasures. We get the point.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like Indiana Jones. Why is there so many?
Oh, did you watch
shit?
Yeah, but did you watch the 5th one? The one
5th Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
Probably.
The one with spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, don't, first of all. But
if you haven't watched it, smart choice on you.
Yeah. But at the end it turns out to be like an alien base or some shit like that. The one with Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, I think I might have seen Shia LaBeouf. I secretly am a fan of Shia LaBeouf. I'm gonna just put it out there.
I'm not judging you.
No, people aren't.
I already did.
People aren't. Yeah,
I already fucking did.
people aren't fans of Shia LaBeouf, but I'm a fan of Shia LaBeouf.
Are you a big movie guy? Do you watch that?
I used to be a big movie guy. I haven't. I kind of been. I was. So I went to go work abroad back in like 2015.
What was it brought to you?
I mean, I went to go work on like cruise ships and like resorts and stuff in other countries. I lived in Europe for a while, took cross country road trips, lived on the islands, worked on ships. Yeah, so I did that in 2015.
That was a job to be on cruise ships.
Yeah, I was a sports staff on a cruise ship. So like, you know, they like some of the cruise ships have like the surf thing and like the rock wall and like the sports deck on top or whatever.
Yeah.
So we would just work there. It was me and a bunch of bros from the UK, and then we would just like teach surf lessons and like
To a
run the
bunch of
rock wall.
fat Americans.
Yeah, dude.
Is it true? Like what they say about people who go on cruises? It's a hotel on water. That's
Bro,
all it is.
exactly what it is. It's fucking massive. People are like, oh, I could fill the ship. I'm like, you'd forget you were on a ship for a while. Like those things are fucking massive. They have so many crazy things on them. Like one of the ships I was on, it had like 16 floors and all these clubs and a fucking Central Park walkway in the middle and ice rinks and diving shows and a fucking zip line and a little like space ball.
And if it sinks, it's over.
Bro, if that thing sinks, like it would take a lot for that. It's not the fucking Titanic bullshit. You're not going to fucking icebergs and shit. You're fucking going to fucking the islands and
I just don't get the appeal of it.
the appeal is that
You're on water. That's the only difference.
well, there's even a bunch of pools and stuff, and most people don't even leave the ship. The appeal is that you don't have to think. Like, you don't have to plan a vacation.
Go to Disneyland. Same shit.
Yeah,
At least you don't get to drown.
It's like that, except you get to say that you traveled to some islands where white people can get beads and their hair braided. Like, you don't have to think. Everything is curated for you. So it takes the guesswork and the planning out of your vacation. You just have to lounge there, and they fucking just. And once you're on the ship, you get, like, the food is comped there for you. You can get, like, all
It's
the
all
food.
inclusive,
Yeah,
right?
it's all inclusive, like the food and, like you can get like an alcohol package to where you can get like drinks all the time, and there's shows and there's fucking comedy clubs and there's ice skating and there's all these little events going on and mini golf and
But you could do that on land.
you can, but
You
it's
don't
not,
get to travel. This is the whole thing.
but it's just all there for you. It's just in one place, so you don't have to like leave to go find it, and it's already like included, so you can just show up and do it. So you don't have to pay for any of that once you're on the ship.
Yeah, but any all-inclusive hotel will give you the same shit.
Yeah, but you don't go to different islands.
Okay, so you dock in Jamaica, wherever, right?
Yeah.
And then everybody gets off the boat if you want to get off the boat.
Yeah, if you want to get off the boat, you can do like an
You go all
excursion,
day?
and yeah, you can go all day and stuff like that. And then
You have to be back by
at certain times. Well, sometimes you do an overnight. So like some places you show up and you port and you dock overnight, and then you can like so that night you can like go out to the clubs in that city or like rage in that city or whatever, and like
You can go to a hotel that just like a mini version of what's on the boat, just on land, and then come back to the boat.
if you wanted to, yeah, if you wanted to.
But you see the ridiculousness
do
of it
see
all,
it,
right?
but I see
You're from
it.
Africa, man. You see that ridiculous.
Yeah, but the difference is like if you go to a hotel resort, right? Like if you go to like a resort on land. So like you go there in a hotel room, at some point you have to like make plans. You have to figure out how to like take care of the kids. You have to like, oh, we're going to go to this waterfall, or we're going to come back and have dinner at this thing, or we're going to go do this thing. And you have to like make these plans every day and figure out how you're going to do these things. When you go on a cruise, that's already done for you. So you literally like show up, you're like, oh, what are we going to do today? Doesn't fucking matter. What are the kids going to do today? Whatever the fuck they want. They just go to this little kids club, or they can go play on whatever. And it's like it simplifies your thought process in terms of having to plan anything.
Do you do comedy on there, or you're not doing a comedy?
No,
at the
I
time?
wasn't doing comedy at that time.
Because I know comics who do that.
Yeah, there are some cruise ship comics. I've never wanted to be a cruise ship comic, but I have wanted to be a comic on a cruise ship at least one time.
Do the same set to the same people every day?
No, like
Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they pay well.
I mean,
I'm sure
there's like
they make a
everything's
lot
all
of money.
inclusive, and you get like a dope ass room and shit like that, all whatever. But like, you only do a couple sets, so like you'll be on there for like 3 days or something like that. And then you do like one or two like clean shows, and then you do like one or two dirty shows.
Oh, they're all dirty shows still.
What's up?
You saw some?
Yeah. I used to go like dirty shows are like late night. The clean shows are like in like 7 p.m. like main evening. You'll do like 45 minutes there, and it'll be like clean stuff and whatever for the family. And then at like 10 or 11, they do like a dirty show when you can come out and like say fucks and like talk your shit or whatever.
Have you seen famous comics do it?
I mean, I've seen comics that are like cruise ship famous, but like it's weird because once you get on like the cruise ship circuit, then you kind of like you're not like
You stuck there?
yeah, it's kind of like you become a cruise ship comic, and so then you only do cruise ships. So I've never wanted to be like a cruise ship comic. I've always wanted to be like but I have wanted to go back on there and just be like, y'all fired me. Fuck y'all. Like I'm out here.
Really? Hold on. How long did you do that for? First of all,
I did it for like 2 years.
like is it like a every day?
So it's contracts. So you'll do a contract. So like you do contracts can be anywhere from, depending on your position, they can be anywhere from a month, 2 months to 6 months or whatever. And
Okay, 6 months out of the year.
yeah, 6 months. So whatever your contract is, most contracts I did were like anywhere from 4 to 6 months or 3 to 6 months, depending on it, how long I wanted to be on there. So you're on the ship and then you work every day. Well, on most ships, you're supposed to work every day, but my position sometimes we're kind of laid back. And so I got some days off, but they're very rare. So most of the time you're working at least a little bit every day while you're on the ship.
Taking care of rich white kids.
Yeah. I mean, unless you go from like another port where then it's like rich Mexicans, but yeah.
Man, that's gotta.
It was.
I don't know. I would have a totally different perspective on life just from watching, just from being there. I'm saying as an African, that however you experienced it, but it's like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, like you said, everything is there, and just like, man, they don't know how good they got it that they can just do that.
You know what I've realized? If I was an old person, like if I was super old and like my family tried to put me in an old folks home, I would say, fuck that. Just put me on a cruise ship and I would just go on cruises 24/7.
That makes sense.
Like I knew there was this woman on one of the ships I went on, and we would get in dock and she would just change rooms and just go back on another cruise, because it's like for the same price as an old folks home, she was getting treated like a fucking queen. And those old folks home, I fucking seen Happy Gilmore, the way they treat the old people. Like, you know, have a nice glass to shut the hell up, you know, like. And yeah, you're fucking on land and they fucking put you outside and treat you like shit, but you're on the cruise ship, you eat bomb ass food, and like people, there's shows you can go to and they fucking wait on you hand and foot. And because you're going on all those cruises, you get like points and memberships, so it starts costing you less and less. It's like, for the same price, fuck it. I'll just live on a cruise ship instead of go to an old folks home. Fuck that.
That's okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so
that makes sense.
So like that's the only time, but I don't think I'd go on a cruise as a guest. Maybe once, but I do want to go back as a convict.
I would do it just for the material. There's the one cruise I would go on.
Which one?
The one that Damian Marley puts together in November. It's a Jamrock.
That would be a pretty. Yes, there's some of those. I did a Melissa Etheridge one full of lesbians, and it was cool.
You did that? What do you mean?
I was working it. Our ship got commissioned to do a Melissa Etheridge cruise.
What does that mean?
So Melissa Etheridge, the singer.
Yeah.
So it was just like her cruise, and she brought on a bunch of like musicians. It was like a music festival, but on the ship, but full of her, like her headlining the thing, and all of her fans and like her musician friends and whatever that she brought along.
Doesn't it get annoying after a while?
I don't have to go to listen to the music. I'm just doing a job. All I do is work on the sports deck. So that's all I do.
So that's far enough to we don't have to hear the shit.
No, bro. Like, imagine you're in a fucking giant hotel and there's something going on in the conference room. If you're in your room, are you going to hear it?
Yeah, true. I never. It's hard for me to. I never seen like a cruise ship like in live.
Bro, they're massive.
Yeah, I mean apparently.
Yeah, they're massive. So like, there's a full auditorium there, and like they go and they do that. Like, but you're on the other side of the ship, you're not gonna hear it. Like, if you're close to it, you're gonna hear it. But like, if you're not like in that vicinity, it's like it's not even happening. Like, you can go to the other side of the ship and go play basketball with your friends. Like,
that's nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. For a lot of people, like, unless you've been on it, like, you don't understand how big they are and like how just. Like, and they're just getting bigger. Like, every new one they build, it's like, oh, this ship is a bigger one. Remember that ship? No, this one's bigger, dog. Remember that big ass ship we built? No, fuck that. This is the biggest one in the world. And they just keep
the Super Titanic. Like, yeah, try that.
Yeah,
you keep trying to.
What's crazy though is when you're stuck on like when you're in the ocean and like you hit a storm and then the ship starts like rocking when it's that big. Because like imagine what it would take to make a ship that big like sway like that. I'm telling you, people do not respect open water as much as they should, bro. Like, the people that have zero respect for like ocean open water, that shit is fucking nuts.
A whale could go by and just bump it. Yeah. I'm thinking worst case scenario, like something as simple as that. Like, you have no idea. Yeah, you're a ship. That's fine. You're a ship, but there's life and things going on around you that you know aware of. And the day that shit hits the fan.
I mean, the whale's one thing, but the thing about like whales and animals and stuff like that is like they don't want to attack something that's bigger than them most of the time. You know, they have zero business doing that. But it's like the storms, like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
And if shit gets fucked up, it's just you. Like, no one's coming to save you. Like, you're in that shit, and you gotta And then it's like, and then these people now got to count on me to like do a job, and I'm like, I'm trying to save myself. This is fucked up. Like, if
We've
you're
been chilling in black people first.
yeah, if you're looking at me to save you, we're gonna have some problems. Like, you want me to be a firefighter? What?
Nah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah,
Man.
you
I'm
don't
my
pay
own
me
black ass.
Bro, that's why they hire a bunch of Filipino dudes, and those dudes are like, I swear, man, if I ever start anything, I'm just hiring pure Filipinos. Like, they're the nicest, most hardworking, best food cooking people like I've ever met. Like, they're just
Better than Mexicans.
bro, they are like Mexicans on steroids, bro. That's how cool they are. They work harder, they're nicer, and their food is just as good. Like they
Probably better. Mexican food is not that good.
Ooh,
Really?
I will say I like Filipino and Asian foods better than I do Mexican food. But I do
It's
like
at
Mexican.
it's at the bottom for me.
You don't like
It's the same shit with different names.
you don't like tacos?
I don't say I don't like them. I said it's as far as my preference list. It's at the bottom. If I don't have a choice,
what's at the top of your preference list?
then my Senegalese food.
Senegalese? Do you guys eat fufu?
Yeah,
Okay, so you fuck with the fufu.
yeah. I fuck with the fufu.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
so people
but
don't know
it-
about the fufu. I
No,
fuck
but
with the fufu.
to us, it's like it's rice, different sauces. It's really that simple.
That's
right?
fair.
Yeah, it's rice, different sauces. I grew up in France, so I would put French food up there. I would put Italian food up there. But Mexican is just meat and vegetables and different types of bread-looking things.
I mean,
The
Mexican,
taco and the burrito and the gordita. What's the difference? Except for the size and the kind of bread that you wrap it around.
I mean, I don't want to go into specifics and everything, but the difference is that they're all delicious. That's what they have.
Okay,
in
you
common.
didn't grow up in Texas.
I did not grow up in
That's
Texas. you're
why,
right.
because it's just exotic to you.
Well, I mean, I've had like Tex-Mex. I grew up in Colorado. There's a heavy Mexican population, so
Yeah,
I've
that's
always,
true.
I've always been eating tacos and burritos. I just like them.
Oh, whatever makes you happy.
No, I mean, I'm a big fan of my favorite. I mean, because the thing is, African food is also very rare. Like it's hard
There's
to find.
none of it here.
Yeah, there's none. There was African spots in Boston. I mean, when I lived in Mass,
Uh-huh.
so there was an African joint that you had like Ghanaian food. So I'd go there and eat like I would just go there and eat African food for sure. I'd be like eating
What, jollof rice?
jollof, yeah, heavy jollof, and they'd have like the African like fish and the
The
African
fish, yeah.
like, meat and stuff like that. So I'd eat that. Sometimes I'd eat plantains and fufu, and so I'd be getting in it.
No, but we don't have that here. So I'm like,
I saw an Ethiopian restaurant the other day.
yeah, there's one, and it's hanging on. It's been here for years.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're like, Ethiopia. Is this nigger food? Like, what do people in Texas go?
No, don't give you silverware.
What?
They don't give you silverware when you go there.
Do we just eat with your hands?
Yeah, they give you that. They have this. It's kind of like a tortilla. It's an African tortilla. It's like a crepe, really.
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
the
you
little,
use
like-
that,
yeah,
and you
the
use
little-
that on your plate.
okay,
Yeah, they
I
don't.
see.
You have to ask for silverware.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
you gotta
I'm-
be an asshole and be like, "Oh, do you have a knife and fork?" I'm like, motherfucker, you in Ethiopia right now.
yeah, eat with your hands. Unless you're one of those bougie people that eat fufu with a knife and a fork.
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, fucking.
No.
losers.
Dude, did you grow up eating around the bowl? Is that a thing in Congo too?
Like all the fufu in one big bowl.
No, just like the whole family around one bowl. Is that something you guys do?
Well, we never had a lot of family meals because there was like 9 of us, and we were all, and I'm like number 6 out of 7,
Mm-hmm.
and so like everyone always worked all the time, so we had like all these odd different schedules, and we weren't living in the same household for like, we moved here probably in '94, and then my sisters moved to we moved to Colorado all together in '94.
Mm-hmm.
My youngest sister was probably 2, and then my older sisters moved to Mass in 2001. So we were only together for like 7 years, but they were like in high school, and I was in like whatever, and my parents always had to work, so we were just
Oh, it was
like,
old, yeah.
yeah. So we never really did that, but like we ate fufu, and we'd have like a big bowl of like fufu, and then you'd get your own sauce and just get your own little plate of fufu, and then you just
Plate. What is a plate? No plate.
We were civilized. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we had a thing because we're in France. We still ate out of plates, but like Sundays was Sunday. There was no breakfast. There was no. We ate at like you, like 4:00, like you were talking about before the show, and so we'd eat around the bowl.
Okay.
And so it would be, we're all sitting, like all 6 of us, face the bowl and you have to eat right in front of you. It's probably just, same when you eat food. Like you don't go and grab on the other side of the bowl or trying to like creep on the side because they have a better piece of meat or whatever. Dude, you do that shit in Senegal, you get your ass whooped.
No, we were always like you get your own bowl of like sauce and meat or whatever in a small little bowl, and then we just make like fufu, like balls of fufu. We always had like we call them a ball of fufu, and then you just get your own bowl. So we just have a big ass bowl full of a bunch of balls of fufu, and then you just take one of the balls and you go to work. Yeah.
Do you know how to make it?
Do I know how to make fufu? Not well.
You tried?
I mean, I have, but I'm not like it's so simple. Like when I watch other people make it, but
of course, and you ask your moms and you go, "Oh, you should do a little bit of this and you do that." And you're like, "No, I got to take notes."
You just throw the semolina in some water and you just stir until it like thickens up to the right consistency. But you got to know like
I tried. I remember asking my mom, like, "Hey, how do you make chibujin?" Which is like our national thing in Senegal. It's like it literally means rice with fish.
Okay, yeah.
Right, it's a red rice. It's jollof rice because it's the rice cooked with tomatoes and stuff. Right. Yeah. So it's a red rice with fish and vegetables, but the way it's one of those, African food takes like a whole day to make, right?
Yeah, when
there's no fast food African food.
You can't have fast African food. That's why they're so lean and shit because you can't. Because you're just like, it's always heavy vegetable like oriented. Like a lot of like greens and spinaches and stuff like that.
Yeah, you get some yams in there, put some carrots in there.
Yeah, it's always like that, and then like a heavy carb. And people, it's so funny because like people here are like, "Oh, carbs are the devil," and Africa is like, "Fufu is like heavy, bro. You eat fufu, dog, bro. Fufu
took naps
because you don't chew fufu.
Yes,
that's the thing about
it just slides down.
It just goes down your throat. So you just have a ball of fufu in your stomach, bro. Like you're just like, you eat fufu, and you're like. You're just out, bro. That's the original food.
It doesn't hit you right away because it's almost like you don't realize you're full until like way later, and you're like, oh shit, it's about to hit. That's what good African food does.
I love African food so much. Like honestly, I could go for some jollof right now.
We ain't got none in Texas, man.
I'm gonna go try that Ethiopian restaurant one time though.
No, that is good.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I drove by it the other day.
Iced Tea, I think it's called.
Yeah, I was trying to.
It's on 35 and maybe 40th Street area.
Yeah. It's weird because since I've gotten here to Texas, the only thing I trust to eat is like I only eat like tacos and barbecue.
That's all we have.
Yeah, that's really it.
That's all we have. But and everything else is fusion shit.
I eat a lot of Asian food too, so I eat like pho and poke bowls a lot too.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah,
those are good. But we used to have when I came to Austin in '98.
Okay, so you've been here for a minute.
Yeah, and there was one restaurant called Word Beat Cafe that used to be on MLK and literally on campus, really.
Right.
And they had jollof rice with goat.
Ooh.
And that shit was dope. And I would go there all the time. And then they shut down. They came back a few years ago as a food truck on 11th Street, but it didn't work. And then that was my friend Iba, who's also from Senegal. Like for years, there was like one Senegalese guy you had to know in town. It was him. And then I came around like, you don't know who Iba is? I'm like, okay, I got to meet Iba. But really good dude. And he had a food truck.
Right.
To get this, he had a food truck. And he was at a coffee shop. You know where a radio is?
No, I don't.
Radio Coffee. Anyway.
Okay.
So he had his food truck and then a taco truck. So at first he was serving actual like Senegalese food. Like he would do festivals and all of that shit. And then he had to kind of, Americanize it a little bit. So he would make, mafe, right? Mm-mm. It's a peanut butter sauce.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So he would do that and then put it on spinach, for example, like spinach leaves and shit.
Yeah, we call that fumboa in Congo.
Oh, really?
It's fumboa. It's like a peanut butter and like green kind of combination. So it's like peanut sauce mixed with like a green, and then you like eat it. It's kind of like a little bit thicker and
yes.
And we call that fumboa, and you eat that with fufu.
Oh, you eat everything with fufu.
Yeah, everything with the fufu, bro. You just put whatever with fufu, bro. We just eating. I would love to just like have a podcast where I just bring white people on and we just eat fufu. Like they're just
and just get a reaction shot.
Yeah, the whole time it's just we share a meal with a white person, but it's traditional African food, and I just want to see what. Are we eating this? Like what?
Joe,
I would die just watching like white people try to like try African food. It'd be hilarious.
And you know what? And you prank them, you say, yeah, that's brains.
Yeah,
That's monkey brains, dude.
yeah. You're eating goat liver.
Yes, how's that? And you go, oh, it's delicious. Yeah, that's the eyeballs. We just grind it together. Oh,
Oh my god.
it's delicious, right?
I don't even think a lot of them would eat it. To be like, I'm not gonna.
No, if you tell them ahead of time, you don't.
Yeah, no.
They were not gonna eat.
I would never tell them ahead of time. I would just,
No, you
I would
don't.
just bring it on them. That'd be the whole podcast.
Because in their mind, they're thinking Indiana Jones and Temple of Boom when they open the monkey head and they just like eat out of it. That's what they're thinking.
Yeah, they're thinking bats in Wuhan. Dude.
Yeah.
They're just like, we're gonna start the new corona if I eat this. Like, they don't know what the fuck to think.
I mean, that's the thing. Like you go to a market in Africa. At least in Senegal. Yeah, and everything is fresh, but some of it just sits there. Our version of fast food in Senegal is somebody gets a lamb in the morning, kills it, and then grills it over during the day. So you show up, you go, I want 1 pound of lamb, and then they grill it in front of you. They give you onions and mustard, and you eat it right there on the street. But that lamb's been hanging since this morning, and that's all fast food, and that shit is delicious. It's fucking delicious.
Oh,
fuck McDonald's, fuck Whataburger, fuck everything else we have here. I would eat that. Every time I go back, that's what I have.
Well, because it's just like fresh lamb, so it's not processed. It doesn't have the fucking hormones in it, and I think that's the biggest difference. Is like why you wonder like why Americans have all these random diseases and shit that aren't found anywhere else in the world, because we put all sorts of fucking crazy things in our food that's not even legal. Like if you look at the food that the ingredients that we allow in America in our food. It's like countries like Bolivia are like, nah, we can't put this in. America's like, yo, double down on this shit. It's like, if Bolivia is the standard for what your food quality is, like, you're fucking up. When, like, African countries are like, we cannot eat this shit, Americans are like, yeah, double down on that food. Like, it's fucked up.
I didn't know what lactose intolerant until I came here. Lactose intolerant or keto or gluten. Yeah. I'm like, you never met an African gluten person? Someone can't eat gluten in Africa?
You die after that. But I know a lot of people African people that don't fuck with milk.
What?
Yeah, like no one in my family drinks milk.
Is it because they make them sick, or is it just?
It's like I don't know. It's like a reaction, like an acid reflux kind of thing in our stomach from drinking milk. So no one.
If you drink too much of it, yeah, they'll fuck you up.
Not even too much, just any milk. Like most of my brothers don't. Most of my brothers can't process like dairy at all. I can eat ice cream, but I know I'm gonna be fucked up in the morning. But ice cream is the only dairy I really fuck with.
Huh?
I fuck with cheese a little bit, but I don't remember the last time I drank milk.
Or that's why you don't like breakfast, because it's part of the whole thing. Like breakfast and cereal is like that's when you grow up. Like you go with your mom to the grocery store. Yeah, I want the one with the bunny rabbit on the box, and then there's LeBron on it.
Flakes,
That's part of growing up. Man, you never experienced that.
No, I mean, I did. I just
drink it with water. I don't know.
Cereal. Cereal with water, gross.
Frosties and water. Rice Krispie treats with water. She don't even pop no more.
Oh my gosh! You ever seen like in Friday when he's all eating the milk cereal and there's no more milk? He's like, what? We put some water in that.
Exactly.
Fuck that noise. Nah,
it's one of those like simple joys. It's growing up. Like there's a reason why they put all the the cereal boxes at the bottom, because the kids, that's their level. Like, I want that one and that one.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up the way that we trick kids into doing stuff. But it's also like, as parents, I know it's hard, but I used to work with kids. Like,
hold on, do you have kids?
No, I don't have any kids.
Okay, I do. So watch it.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, you have to, at some point, you have to be the adults in the room. Like, and
I agree. Like, okay, go ahead.
And I'm not even trying to like talk down on parents, but at some point, like, I understand that kids are hard to raise. I'm not going to say they're easy or anyone's doing a bad job or anything like that. But at some point, you can't let your kids control you. You have to be the adult in the room. And like, I used to work with kids, and I'd see kids all the time, and they would just rule their parents, and they just run over their parents and got whatever they want. And I'm like, as someone who worked with kids, I'm like, you can see the difference in the behavior and the way those kids acted versus the kids where they like respected or understood that they were the kids and the parents were the parents. Like, at some point, as a parent, you have to be the adults in the room. You can't let your kids make the decisions.
You know what? So great point. Because I mean, I grew up, and I think we talked about this before on podcast. I forgot to wait. Oh, it was Rachel Soring, I think. Anyway, the whole idea of your parents or your best friend is we don't do.
Parents are my best friends. No, they're my parents.
No, they're my parents.
My friends.
No, but I don't
for that.
They don't confide in me. They don't no, that's what friends are.
Right,
that's what friends are for.
We're not conversing on decisions. Like, we're not out here like, oh, let me put your 2 cents in here. Like this.
No, But I have a 3-year-old, and I still catch myself going, "Hey, do you want to do this or you want to do that?" Kind of thing. Like, what do you want to eat? And I'm like, my dad's never asked me what do you want to eat. This is what you eat. If you don't want to eat, you're not eating.
You're not eating, right? That's the thing. Either you eat this or you don't eat. Like, those are your options.
Like, this is what he used to say, and he still does to this day. He goes, "Those who want to eat, calm down. Everybody else, stay where you at."
Yeah,
that's it. Like, and there's no eating after eating time or before eating time, and we'd wait for him to come back from work to eat. If there's any permission I needed to ask, I had to ask, like when he comes home. It's like he's not my buddy. Now he is, because now I have a son, and he goes, "Oh, now you understand, don't you?" I'm like, yeah, I get it. I get it. But my son's only 3, and I'm like, man, I can't wait till he grows up to like and really like drill his ass.
Get
I know his mom is gonna hate that shit, but I'm like, you gotta get the discipline.
Well, that's the thing, man. I realize like now so my parents were like, it was a weird thing because there's 7 of us, right? And so like growing up,
like close or
within 15 years, 7 kids, 15 years. Well,
okay,
within 15 years, so it's not the worst.
It's a pretty good rate.
Yeah, they were popping out like we're all like 2.5 years, give or take.
Oh, they were on
apart. Yeah, they were going in.
Yeah.
Right. So then it's like, so you have that, and it's like early on they were very strict, but as like we moved to the United States and everyone got older, they kind of got super like laid back. So like I never really had any rules growing up. Like by the time
apparently you get to work on a cruise ship. My parents were like, "Well, you out of you, mind."
I mean, I was 20. Like, you don't even know how to swim. You know, like what are you going to do on a cruise ship?
Exactly. What are you going to do on the cruise ship?
You are going to drown working on this water. Like they don't give a fuck, right? So like my parents.
What is this cruise ship you talk about? Huh? How big is this thing?
You just go to the water. I've seen the Titanic. What is going to happen? You are going to drown right now. Yeah, that's well, that's the thing. So my parents were always just like, so there was a certain time, and I think I was probably around like, I remember when I was like, probably like 10 or 13, somewhere in between there. And it's like, my parents were just kind of like, meh. They're just like, don't go to jail. Like that was pretty much like the discipline I had.
Wear a condom and don't go to jail.
They didn't even say that, bro. They just said like, don't go to jail. We're not gonna bail you out, bro. And so like from that point on, like the rest of like my life has just been me figuring things out on my own. And like they were supportive of whatever. Like cool, do it. Like figure out how to do it.
But they were stricter with your older siblings.
They were, but like at that point they kind of let them go too. So they just kind of but they were already older at that point. So like we were just kind of like freestyling at that point. And so the learning discipline, like teaching yourself discipline as an adult when you never had it as a child, I wish I would have had like strict discipline. Like if it wasn't for sports, I'd probably have 0 discipline. Now it's like I have to discipline myself for things like comedy, like go out every single night, write jokes, do these things and get them done. And it's like this mental battle I have all the time with myself of like keeping myself in line and like disciplining myself. But that took like time to be able to teach myself discipline. Because if no one teaches you discipline, getting it as an adult and learning how to like work hard as a trait, that's hard to do on your own if no one instills that from you from an early age. And I don't think I ever had it instilled. I mean, I kind of just instilled it in myself over time. I mean, my dad worked hard, but like I never really ever saw him growing up, and he was kind of hands off, so we never really did a lot of things together.
But you knew he was working a whole lot?
Yeah, I mean, I knew he was doing his thing. I mean, we had a house, so we weren't like.
Did he ever say, "Is it Benjamin?"
Yes,
Benjamin. I'm proud of you.
No. No, he never once. Maybe.
Hence the comedy. No,
maybe like closer to the adult. I mean, I do talk about my dad a lot in the comedy. Like, I mean, not as much anymore. He passed away earlier this year.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Oh, no worries, man. So like, I used to make a lot of jokes about him, and like now I took a lot of them out because they feel weird to say because they're kind of like making my dad the butt of the jokes. But now that he's not alive, it's kind of feels almost disrespectful in a way. So like I don't.
His spirit is with you.
Yes,
he lives in you.
Yes, he is cursing you right now.
Yeah, it's like Mufasa in the cloud. He's looking down on you.
What is this bitch ass Benjamin talking about? If I see him again, I'm going to beat his ass in heaven. You know, like it's so.
You'll feel an ass whipping coming from the heavens.
Yeah, bro. I'm like that nigga's waiting to whip my ass. He just took off his belt. Like he heard that joke and he's like, Benjamin, come here. Do you know I'm going to beat you today? You know, like. Yeah. But like it's so funny because like it's so frowned upon to like beat your children in American culture, right? It's like you can't. You can't do that.
I've told that story. A friend of my dad's moved to the States, married an American girl, had a kid, and at school, kid goes to school and they teach the kids, if your parents put their hands on you or threaten you, call child services. And one day, sure enough, he didn't like put his hands on her or anything, but kind of threatening. And kid calls the cops, and cops came and booked the dad. And he never recovered from that.
Oh no, you can't come back from that. There's certain things you can't come. Like it's fun. My parents used to be like, "Yeah, call child services. By the time they get here, you're gonna be done."
Yeah, pretty much.
But I think the thing about us is that we always had like a very reverent like respect for my parents. I think because of the siblings, right? Because my older siblings were like born in Africa and they were like raised like that. So it was like you learn from the siblings because I spent so much time with my siblings and they kind of like watched me and took care of me growing up. So I think we kind of learned that like parental like respect, kind of like the African version of like not calling that like child service and stuff. Versus like the kids that are born here, you have zero power. Kids can do whatever the fuck they want.
The biggest disconnect. I mean, I look at Africans who live in France, right? So second generation or first generation in France, they'd never been back home to Mali or Senegal or Algeria or wherever, right? So they grew up around French kids, right? And so they have the hardest problem connecting with their parents because here you are in this Western country, you're trying to teach them the African values, but it doesn't connect.
No,
and so they feel like, oh shit, well I live in France, but I can't. If I went back home in Senegal or wherever, I would feel so out of place because I know nothing of my of my culture. So I was lucky because I was born there
in France or Senegal.
In Senegal.
How old were you when you moved to France?
I was 2.
Oh, okay. So you moved young. Okay.
Yeah, but my parents would send us back every summer.
Right.
You got to go see your cousins. You got to learn your language. You got to learn how to, shit in the hole and all that stuff, and then take a shower with a pan and over your head and all that stuff, and eat around a bowl with everybody else, and and walk a lot on sand. I mean, it's little things like that that really humbles you into, oh, okay, I get it.
Well, yeah, you understand life on a different perspective in that.
Exactly.
Like if you look at like a lot of the problems with Western culture that we have now, you look at like a lot of people's like,
we're about to solve the world, y'all. Go ahead.
I'm about to get you up on game, all right? No, but it's like you look at a lot of the problems, it's like they're solved by social media. People are always like concerned about what they have because they lack a gratefulness for what they don't have or what they do have. They're like all of these. That's the problem with social media is that you always see what everyone else has. And then you forget to be grateful for what you have because you're always watching what other people have. And then you're looking in your life like, well, I don't have this. And so that's why a lot of social media fucks with people's minds and makes people feel alienated, makes people feel depressed. Like I'm the same way. Like I struggle with social media.
Me too.
Like it's so hard for me to be on there because I see that and it's a thief of my joy. And I think that was like one of the things that like I was really blessed with as a parent is like growing up like with the way I did was. It's like a lot of kids would complain about, I don't have this and I don't have that. I was like, well, I got food, so this is pretty cool. Like
when you put things in perspective, life is simple. People make it complicated.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely
People make it complicated, and it's always interesting to me that people who travel. I mean, I always tell people if you were to travel to 2 places that would really make you appreciate life, you go to Africa, somewhere in Africa. Go to South Africa. It's a good introduction to Africa
because you get Africa both. Light.
Yeah, it's like African delight. It's like you go to Joburg and it's as modern and as clean as can be. It's like you're
Cape Town.
It's like
nice too.
Yeah, it's like you go to Atlanta. Really,
right.
It's cleaner than Atlanta even. So
yeah, New York is a dirty ass city.
Yeah, it is.
New York is
and then you drive 10 miles out of the city and you're in Africa. Yeah. So you get both, right?
Right.
And so that will give you some appreciation of what you have, what you don't have. And then you go to Europe because you can appreciate how they live. The thing with Americans is that it's go
all the time.
Yeah. Like Americans don't value money. They value convenience that comes with money.
Money buys you convenience.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So there's a reason why we have drive-thrus in this country, and fast food is a thing. Like everybody, I remember coming here. I was going to high school. I was a senior in high school, and then I was talking to my friends like, "Yo, I'm working a job, 2 jobs." I'm like, "How old are you? Like, when do you get to be a teenager? Just chilled and just like enjoy life?" Because you You go to France and like a meal takes 2 hours.
Yeah.
In Spain, they take a nap. The whole country takes a fucking nap.
I remember, facts. I went to Belgium and I was like, oh, yeah, the store closes at 9, dude. Like, if you want to get something, you come back tomorrow, bro. Like, it's here. It's like, what? 24 hours? You got to be open 24 hours.
No.
And it's like, no, you don't. I do like the slower European lifestyle. Like,
that's what I mean. Everybody should go there once just to appreciate that.
I want to go to South America because I've never been, but I've been to Central America. But it's like, even the islands, it's like there's a slower time pace.
Yo, you can't get shit done, though. Like, if this is my biggest, because if you're used to this pace, right, that we have here,
right,
and let's say you go to Belize or Barbados and you're trying to get some paperwork done.
I've been to those places.
No
paperwork, bro.
Later, we'll do this later.
Don't worry about the paper. Bro,
even in Africa.
Yeah, even Italy's like that, bro. Like, I went to Italy and it's like the bus is leaving and it's like, yeah, we'll leave. I'm like, what do you mean we're leaving? That guy said we're leaving at 2:30. Bro, it's 2:36. Yeah, we're just waiting for a few more people. I'm like, the Germans, though, they don't fuck around. The Germans, like, 2:30, 29, 30. Go.
Yeah, no,
like,
they're organized. Yeah, the Germans are very organized.
So it's like when you travel, you see, like, the Italians, they're like, yeah, I want to get to it. And then it's like, we went to an Italian pizza restaurant, 2 to 4 p.m. or 2 to 5 p.m. in the afternoon, they're just closed. I'm like, could you imagine a food restaurant in America being closed till 5 p.m.?
No
Bro,
way.
get the fuck out of here. It's crazy. I'm like, y'all don't even like money out here. Like, y'all are
try to introduce a 24-hour Denny's.
Yeah,
IHOP.
bro, IHOP Italy, bro, never. It would never work. That shit place would be open like 4 hours a day. They could get the
like,
fuck
why am I wasting my money being open 24 hours? These motherfuckers only show up like 4 out of...
Yeah, you can't. Man, it's so when you travel, you learn and you're just getting more perspective. But I think the biggest thing is you just find out that people are people everywhere, and like everyone's gonna tell you like, oh, these people hate us, these people do it. No, these people are just people trying to live. There's governments that have a bunch of sinister things at play that they're trying to make money off of, and we just happen to be the I guess the what do you call that? The unintended consequences of what happens to us. We're collateral damage.
I mean, there's just way too many people. You're dealing with 350 million people in this country versus, a million in a small European country. I mean, Texas is 1.5 the size of France. When I tell people a drive from Austin to Dallas, it's like 3-4 hours. If you do that in France, you're in another country already.
Yeah,
it's really that simple.
New England's like that too, though. Like if I drive an hour from where I lived in Massachusetts, I could hit like 5-6 different states.
Yeah, but it's the same shit from state to state.
Yeah, that's right. It's all called New England. Yeah,
it's like you over there. It's like
we're just over here.
But when you show up somewhere, you drive long enough for a few hours. Like, oh shit, different food, different language, different smells, different this, different that. It's a luxury that people can't appreciate. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know Louisiana is not New York. It's not Cali. I get all that, but fundamentally. It is.
That's fair. It's similar enough. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we have Whataburger, they have Shake Shack. And now we have Shake Shack here. So what's the difference?
It's the same shit. That's the thing. That's why, like, going to Europe, it doesn't really do anything because it's the same shit. It's very westernized, right? Like a lot of Europe. And I mean, in some places.
Yes.
Most places you want to go in Europe are pretty westernized. So it's like, I noticed some differences, but it's like, all right, this isn't like rocket science to figure out.
Have you gone back to Africa? Anywhere else in Africa?
I have not gone back to Africa
at all.
No, not back to Africa yet.
Any desire to go?
Yeah, I mean it's on my to-do list within the next couple of years. We wanted to go back as a family last year in 2020, but COVID happened, and then 2021 my pops passed, so it's just been like a lot since like that happened. But we wanted to go back. I'm still planning on going back, so I will eventually. To
Congo, or is there a country that you like?
I mean, obviously, I want to go back to the rest of Africa. I want to go see Nigeria. I want to go to Lagos.
Okay.
And I want to go to South Africa.
South Africa's the shit, man.
And then I want to go to Morocco too.
Morocco, yeah, my parents lived there for a couple of years. I never got to go. My brother and sister went. From what I hear, you go to Marrakesh.
Yeah. Places like Marrakesh. I want to go to Casablanca. I want to go.
Not Casablanca sucks.
It sucks.
That's what they told me, because they lived in Casablanca, but they go to Marrakesh all the time.
Okay, I mean, I just want to be there for the movie,
Yeah. Well, okay, go there for a day, but get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out.
You don't like black people, is what I'm saying.
I mean, niggas, y'all are black.
Like you're in Africa too. What the fuck?
I heard Chef Schwan's a good place to go.
Where?
Chef Chef or something like that.
Asia?
No, it's in Morocco.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a resort town kind of thing.
Oh,
So,
okay, yeah, it's a
pretty
resort type deal, yeah.
cool. Yeah.
But South Africa, man, it's like it blows. It blew. I went there like 4 times. Because my dad worked for IBM, so he was like VP IBM sales, so he had the Africa as his territory, and he was based in South Africa for a while, and then Morocco. But South Africa is like, what blew my mind is that apartheid ended in our lifetime, like 1995.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this is recent. This is some recent shit. So everything you see around you is like, wow, they've come a long way, but there's still traces of it everywhere you go.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like 1995 is so recent. Like you look at like slavery in the United States, like there's still traces of it heavy in our society.
Yeah.
And that was almost 70 years ago. Like,
no, I mean,
Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated almost 70 years ago.
Yeah, that's still recent.
Yeah, that's recent. So 1995, that's like yesterday. Like that's like
no, but like hey, you get to visit Nelson Mandela's house, and you go. We were driving. I remember we were driving to Soweto.
Mm-hmm.
You know Soweto, right?
Yeah.
The Southern Township on the other side. Mm-hmm. And we're driving. The dude goes, "You see that mountain over there? That was built. This is how much white people want to separate themselves from black people. They built the freaking mountain between Soweto and the rest of the region." And I'm like, oh, and it's still there.
Yeah,
you didn't take that shit down. The mountain's still there. You can see it. You're driving through the mountain. Like on the other side, Soweto's over there.
Yeah, white people do a lot for racism. They really will. Like South Africa was the most sinister type of racism too, because they went and they like studied racism. They were like, oh, we need to find the best racist programs in the world, and they made like a super virus of racism, and they put it in there. So it was super sinister in South Africa. Like a lot of the ways they did the testing, their racism was they were so racist that they had ambiguous racism. Like they could just be like, they just had random tests like the hair test. Like they put like a comb in your hair, and if it stays, it would be black. And if you're not, like they just did random shit that made zero sense. But it was so like curated that's why it was able to go into this like new age, because they were just like, we have it on lock. Like
shit. No,
they were like the Einsteins of racism.
There's a museum, the Apartheid Museum, you can go to, and there's 2 entries to it. You can enter as you can have the white experience or the black experience.
I really wanted to know what the white experience is.
I mean, you just go through the cells. To the prison cells.
Oh, here's your whip. This is why you went through it. Like, what are you teaching? What's the white experience? I don't know.
It's like, okay, it was this guy and this guy. Then you go to the black one, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna walk through cells, but I mean, it's. You get the chills. You really get the chills when you walk in.
Bro, I get the chills when I think of that all the time. Like, there's certain movies I can't even watch. Like 12 Years a Slave. Like, I've never watched that movie. I can't put myself to watch it because I know I'll just be like, I'll be like, I hate white people for the next 4 days.
I told a story, but for my 12th birthday, my parents took us to see Amistad.
Oh my gosh.
I hated white people so much.
Bro, give us free.
Give us free. Yeah. And there was one cameo, and there's a Senegalese guy. There's one Senegalese guy in the movie has one line, and his line is, "What the fuck you doing?" If I translate, that's his only. And then when we saw him, we were like, "Oh shit, there is!
That's my brother." Yeah.
But I was so pissed, and they took us to McDonald's, and we were fine. But
it's a hard movie. How many of the kids are in your family?
5.
5 kids?
Yeah.
Where do you
I have my oldest brother is my half brother.
Okay.
Then it's my sister, and then me, and then 2 younger brothers. And I was the last one to be born in Africa.
Oh, okay. And then how many were born here? In France,
None of them. In French too. My 2 youngest brother.
Okay, yeah, I was the last one born in Africa in my family as well, and then I have a younger sister that was born here.
And she's spoiled, the one that's born here?
I mean, more than the rest of us.
Yeah. But yeah, my youngest brother is like, yeah, I never got ass whooped. Like, God.
How old is you now?
Huh?
How old is your brother now?
He is 32.
How old are you?
I'm 39.
Oh, okay, shit, okay.
Yeah, I haven't had anybody on the podcast that's older than me yet, and comedian that's older than me.
Oh, not even Godfrey?
Oh yeah, Godfrey's older. It was his birthday a couple days ago, actually.
Okay.
This fall.
Are you guys still do you guys still communicate? You guys are cool?
Yeah. I text him for his birthday because we have this feud, not a feud, but he claims to be a bigger Wu-Tang fan than I am. And I'm like, no, dude, I learned English listening to them. I wouldn't be able to talk to you if it weren't for them. I don't give a shit that you met Method Man and then you have all the gear. He came to Austin. He had a Wu-Tang mask, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You have all their merch. I speak to you thanks to them. So shut up. And so on his birthday on Instagram, he had a Wu-Tang cake, and I text him. I'm like, fuck your Wu-Tang. Okay, you can be the number one Wu-Tang fan just today. But yeah, he's I don't know, 40, close to 50, 47, maybe 48, something like that.
He's still looking good though. Black don't crack, bro.
No, we don't bend either.
No, we're gonna be chilling.
No, we good. My dad looks like me. He's 70.
Bro, yeah,
and I'm the one balding. He's not. Bitch.
Oh shit, ain't that motherfucker? Man, I always like my whole family's. I know I'm gonna be bald at some point, but for a while I'm gonna ride the hair. Everyone's like, "Yo, your hairline," and I'm always like, "My hairline's progressing. It was worse when I was a kid. Like this shit's gotten better over time."
Like you move forward?
Yeah, it was really bad when I was a kid.
What happened?
I always was born with a receding hairline.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, bro, I was just born with a receding hairline. That's it.
Oh, you'll be all right. You had that nappy hair. Mine is like too thin. Way too thin.
No, my hair grows in thick though. Like my hair is good. It's just my hairline's back. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm just gonna have hair until I don't.
How far is the helmet's gonna? The helmet's gonna start.
Bro, this is what it is. All right, take it easy.
Hey, it's a look. It's a look. It works.
Take it easy. So being African, was your family religious at all?
My mom is. My dad not so much. My mom is. She prays 5 times a day and everything. Yeah.
Okay, is she Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's one of her biggest regrets is that she didn't really teach us growing up. Because I have cousins back home in Senegal that know the Quran by heart. They went to Quranic school. They did all the shit.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I go there and they tell me, "Did you do the Ramadan?" I'm like, "No, I had lunch yesterday."
So your mom's disappointed that she didn't raise a terrorist. I think. Your mom
It's like, yeah, deep down, it's like, yeah, I want you to have a better life.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want you to blow up schools or something.
No, but it's shitty. It's shitty because when I gotta face, my family when I go back, and I haven't been since 2013, I think, is last time I went to Senegal.
Church or Senegal?
No, church. No.
Okay, yeah.
But when I'm there, I'm like, I can't just act like, if it's the Tabaski, the day that we, killed the lamb that was like last week, like I'll go, but I'm not all about that. My cousins are, but they don't look at me like, oh, you misfit, you fucking, like, no, it's okay, But no, I'm not that religious. I believe in shit, but I don't.
You do believe in a God? Or like a higher power? Or are you an atheist?
At the end of the day, I think that. All right, are we going deep?
I mean, I always go deep. Ask the host. What? Okay, that's a terrible joke. But honestly,
we're gonna cut that one out.
Can I blank this Negro? Okay.
No. But I think that personally, like, I don't need a higher power or something to tell me to be a good person. That's how I see it. It's like everybody has if it gives you discipline and it gives you peace in life and gives you some rules to go by and all that, and by all means, I'm not shitting on anybody who's religious, but to me it's like life is just about, just don't be a dick. Be good to people and you'll get it back somehow. It's really that simple.
I mean,
believe in the goodness of people.
Of people?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I find it interesting because I think a lot of people believe in something for just the pure fact that, like, because if not, then what the fuck is the point of all of this? Like,
the point is do good while you're alive.
But here's the thing. And
what is good?
Right. Like Shakespeare said, there is no good or bad except for thinking makes it so. So what do you consider good? And what people consider good or bad changes based off of who that person is and what their experience are. So
that is true.
So like what there's no really baseline for that. All of it just comes down to decisions that you make based off whatever you think is right. And that's really what it comes down to.
That is true.
Like because I always ask people this and everyone will always be like, no, there's certain things that are bad. And they'll be like, well, what, is murder bad? I'm like, first of all, what is murder considered to you? Because it's a crime. I'm like, cops murder people all the time. People go to soldiers.
Crime of passion is a thing.
Yeah, soldiers. Their whole job is to murder people. If you want to be honest, like we allow anything based off of circumstances.
It's true.
And so when you're talking about this, what's good or bad, what are the circumstances of what that good or bad is, you know? And it's like, I feel sometimes that there needs to be, or like to be happy or at least be okay, there needs to be something a little bit more substantial or firm in terms of your beliefs of whatever you believe. It doesn't matter what, but you have to believe in something, I feel like. And that's always my. It doesn't matter if it's a god or whatever. The
Sure.
whatever.
Okay, so
always felt like you.
Is
you
it
need to believe
in a sense
something.
that you're put on this earth to do something or to accomplish? Well, maybe accomplish too strong of a word, but there's a reason why you're here. Is that what
Well,
you're trying
I
to
think-
get at?
So here's my perspective on
Go ahead,
this,
go ahead.
right? So I believe that we're put on this earth, right? And if you do nothing outside of just what you're told or what you're supposed to do or just follow all the rules, there's like a cookie cutter pre-made life that you're going to live based off of just the circumstances that you were born in.
Sure.
And if you do nothing outside of that, then that's the life you're going to live. If you're born to some like middle class parents and you live some middle class life and they just tell you to go to college and get your degree and then get a job and you go do that and you have a family and 2 kids in
Sure.
a house and you've just been told that's your cookie cutter life and that's going to live. And some people it's like you were born fucked up, never had a chance, and you're probably going to, your parents were in jail or had early teen pregnancies and you're probably going to go to jail and have early teen pregnancies and kind of just live that life, right? So because that's like the generic cookie cutter model that was set for you. And if you don't do anything individually to escape from that or change or make a choice that you want to do something different consciously, then you're just going to get that. But I do believe that when you believe in something, regardless of what it is, it doesn't matter if it's Christian or if it's Hindu, if you fucking believe in Satan or you believe in.
You're talking about
fucking Mother Earth.
religion-wise, not just
even like religion-wise, right? It has nothing to do with religion.
Okay,
Just
gotcha. Okay,
Just
keep going.
believing in something. Like you can believe in Mother Nature, you can believe in Father Time, and you can believe in fucking the Easter Bunny. It doesn't matter. But I just think that because if you don't have a basis for that belief, then anything like being a good person or doing good things or anything like that has nothing to stand on. It's like a flag you're waving, but you have no flagpole of belief to put it on.
So, in terms of, okay, I think that I believe in legacy. I believe in leaving something behind and making leaving the what's the word? Leaving the world better than you got it. No, that didn't sound right. Let me try to rephrase this shit. Leave the world in a better place
Than
you found it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, in that sense. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm trying to raise my child the proper way. I mean, again, proper is subjective. Everybody got their own definition and all that.
Right.
But I really think that deep down, it comes down to, I think life is an accumulation of moments and
agree with that.
experiences.
Sure.
And really what it comes, it's not about what you have. It's not about what you do. It's about, no. It's not about what you have and who you are. It's about who you do things with and like sharing those experiences with people, hopefully, and find whatever you have. I know that sounds really cliche, but find these small moments of happiness and have someone to share it with if you can. Otherwise, you're just happy by yourself. Some people are fine with. You about to fall asleep?
No.
Oh.
I was listening. I was deep in thought. Meditation of the mind, son.
Yes, I'm with it.
No, I mean, I get that. I think the only reason I say that I think that people need to believe in something is because, like, you're talking about being a good person, right? And if you don't believe in anything, then what is the point of being a good person? Like, what benefits you from being a quote unquote good person if you don't believe there's any reason behind that?
Why does it have to benefit me?
But what does it benefit anybody? Like, what is that's what
I mean,
I'm asking. What are the benefits of that action then? And what are you basing your quote unquote good person off of? If there's no baseline for what do you base that off of?
So now you got what's good, what I consider good, what I consider bad.
Yeah.
Helping somebody in need, like that. I know that I'm gonna sound really fucking cliche, and I don't like it because that's not usually how I talk. Um, Try to make a difference however you can in someone's life. Not be as selfish and believe in other people and share. I mean that's pretty much the story of my life.
See, but then you said something right there.
Uh-huh.
You believe in other people. See,
Yeah.
that's my whole point. You have to believe in something.
Did I say I didn't believe in anything?
No, that's what
Oh,
I'm saying.
okay.
I didn't say you didn't say you believe in anything, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
whether that's fucking the universe, whether that's fucking, that's why I said it could be the Easter Bunny, whatever. You believe in something, and that's the whole point I'm trying to make. Is that if any way that you're gonna live your life, you have to believe in something. It doesn't matter what, but it has to be something.
I think I got it down, and I've said this. I've said this before. I truly believe that everybody is unique, and everybody has something. Some people can express that, not express that like instinctively. Some people don't. So there's this idea of people are just people. Like most people are the same. They think the same. They look the same. They do the same shit every day. And I'm like, no, but what makes you you? What is it about you that makes you you? Like if I were to to look you up in a dictionary, yeah, human being. What else? What else about you? You're not one thing.
Well, I think a lot of people don't have that anymore because everyone's so generic. You know, they're just
Nah,
copying
fuck
what
that
they
shit.
see.
Why would you want to look and sound like the next dude? I don't get that.
But a lot of people do. You
No,
know,
I know they do. I know it's I know it is the reality.
I feel that.
But I don't understand because some people actually seek that out. They're like, I don't want to be
'Cause they want-
outcast.
they
I don't
wanna
want to
fit
be.
in.
Yeah. What do you want to? You can. The people who make shit happen around the world are people who are not like everybody else.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing about that and being that person is you have to put a lot of things on your shoulders in terms of being ostracized, in terms of
That is
people not accepting you, in terms of people treating you badly.
Yep.
And for a lot of people, that's hard because people don't want to be ostracized. They don't want to feel badly. They don't want to have to handle the weight of everyone being like, look at that person. That person's weird. That person's different. We're all doing this and you're not. And that's a hard weight to bear because everyone wants to be Michael Jordan or LeBron James on game day, but no one wants to be Michael Jordan or LeBron when everyone else is going out to the bars and partying and they're going to the fucking gym to work out and shoot. Everyone wants to be fucking Michael Jordan when he wins 6 chips, but no one wants to be Michael Jordan when he's like, bitches, we're going to run until you throw up. Like, you're going to do this until we fucking get it right. We're going to be here all night because if we don't, we're not going to fucking win. No one wants to be that Michael Jordan. Yeah. Everyone wants to be the Michael Jordan that wins. But that's what I'm saying. A lot of people don't want to do the things that comes with being that person that's unreasonable, unbending, unyielding to what society tells them because society is meant to break you.
I mean, you came here at age 5, you said?
Yeah, it was about 4.
4?
Yeah.
So do you remember like going to school and being that dude, like didn't fit in or anything like that? And how did you handle it?
Like growing up?
Yeah.
And here in America?
Yeah.
I mean, I still feel like I'm that dude that doesn't fit in now. So it's gone through phases.
But you don't want to fit in?
Well, before that's the thing, right? I used to always try to fit in because I just wanted to be like that. But I realized, like, fuck it, if I'm not gonna fit in, then I'm just gonna stand out. You know, like it's like
fuck yeah, that's the way
that's
to go.
the thing. It's like because you don't want to be the person that's like different from everybody. You just want to be like a part of it. But at the same time, if you're gonna do anything that's different from what everybody else is doing, and you're going to be above that, then you have to be willing to stand out and you can't be afraid of the judgment. That's like that whole thing about like being in the arena. Like you have to put yourself out there and be able to and be willing to accept whatever comes with that, whether that's negative or positive or hurts you or helps you or makes you feel better or makes you feel terrible. That's the price you pay for putting yourself out there.
Let me tell you, when I got here, I was 16. I was the youngest senior in my high school. I only went 1 year in high school in this country.
Wow.
I was the youngest senior. And I was in the IB program, the International Baccalaureate program, which takes 2 years to complete. I had to do it in 1. And I would meet people and I would tell them, because it's kind of weird because when people ask me where I'm from, I don't say one thing. I have to like trace the whole, Africa, raised in France, now I live here. Yeah, right? Because I'm like, I'm not one thing. And when I would tell that to people, I had 2 reactions. Either, oh my God, that's fucking dope. Like, tell me. And the other reaction was, cool. And walk off. I'm like, do you meet people like me every day?
I'm sick of these Senegalese French Americans.
Yeah, no shit. Like, really, that like So, and even when I went to college, I went to Georgetown, Southwestern, right up the street.
Georgetown or Southwestern?
Georgetown, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
no, not the Hoyas. No,
okay,
no.
I thought you
No,
were
no,
like
Georgetown, Texas,
Hoyas.
right
I
up the
was
street.
like, bro, that's not one and the same.
No,
They
no,
can't
no,
just
it's
be
not.
right
It's
up the
not.
street.
So it was a small college, like 1,300 kids, and my sister and I were the most international people on campus. And we walked around, and everybody else, yeah, I'm Jason. Hi, I'm Dave. Hi, I'm Mike. Where you from? Dallas, Houston. I'm like, y'all look the fucking same. Y'all have the same. I'm like, why do you want to be like the? I knew like 50 Mikes and 20 Jasons, and I don't know how many Aarons. I'm like, anything else? Like, what do you got?
Yeah.
And so I always sought out what I'm interested in people. When I say I believe in people, is that okay? What's your story? Hey, don't tell me, oh yeah, well, I did this and I grew up here and like it's like going on vacation. Like if you're on a cruise, right? If I ask you how was it, tell me about it. You're not gonna recount the entire thing. There's gonna be some highlights, like yeah, I had this experience like nobody else did, right? But me, and I'm gonna tell you about that. Like I want to know that. I don't care that you went on a cruise ship, So I think that people don't tap in their what makes them enough because they want to stick to I'm a liberal, I'm a Republican, I'm a whatever camp. Whatever camp is it's hot, whatever camp you want to belong to, and then whatever they say you abide by it. But I'm like, nah, that doesn't make sense. But what's weird and sorry is that America has always rewarded people for standing out. There's a reason why there's an MVP, Employee of the Month, all those things, right? Yeah. Valedictorian. Like, yeah, you succeed on your own, not on your own, but you recognize as an individual. But you better think like everybody else. Makes no fucking sense.
It doesn't in a weird way, but I think this is the caveat being that society trains you to live the cookie cutter life that's cut out for you. And by doing that, you're just one of the same and you're just another cog in the machine.
Yep.
However, there are some people that break away from that mold, and everyone can respect somebody that went through that because it's hard to break away from the mold. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of trial. It takes a lot of sacrifice. And most people can recognize that that the person that did that was able to do that and respect the fact that they were able to accomplish that, but most people don't believe that they could accomplish it themselves. So that's why we celebrate these people, because they're like, whoa, that person, there's something else. I could never do that. But the thing is, you can. And most people can all the time, but most people aren't. They don't have the discipline necessary to do the things you can. That's the thing. You can learn how to do it and you can figure it out, but just most people, I think most people don't want to. Like a lot of people, we talk about freedom, right? This concept of freedom, everyone's free. I don't believe that most people want freedom. I really don't. Most people want someone not telling them what to do, but most people don't want unadulterated freedom. Have you ever given somebody the freedom to make their choices and just watch them like, well, what the fuck do we do now? How am I going to do this?
Yeah.
How am I going to figure that out? Like,
there's a reason why there's leaders.
Exactly. They are, because most people don't know how to make choices. They don't want to make decisions for themselves. They don't want that unadulterated freedom. They just want somebody telling them what to do that they agree with. And they're like, yeah, I agree with that.
Something as simple as, what are you doing this weekend? Like, okay, you're free. You can do whatever you want. Well, what are we doing? Well, I don't know. Right. Once you come up with a plan. So you want me to come up with a plan? I thought you were free.
My plan. I thought you were, yeah, exactly.
I thought you were free. We can do whatever we want.
Bro,
what do you want to do? Well, I don't know. What do you want to eat?
I don't know. Right. I'm taking all of August off. I'm taking like a leave of absence from work, and I'm going traveling. And like one of my plans fell through, and I've been thinking about this because I'm like, okay, one of my trips fell through. Now I have to figure out where I'm going to go with the rest of that time. And I'm like, I don't know.
Go on a cruise ship. They got everything for you. Already done. Right. No decisions to make.
That's the thing. I'm not going on a cruise ship. I thought about it, but I wouldn't do it. But I wouldn't go on a cruise ship. I told myself I wouldn't go on a cruise ship until they invited me back to do it as comedy, so I could tell them to fuck you for firing me. That would be my only time to go back.
How'd you get fired in the first place?
So on a cruise ship, they have a no drinking policy. Like their drinking policy is like if you blow a .04, you're over the limit and you can get kicked off the ship for that.
.04.
0.04, so like less than a beer, like or one beer or whatever.
But they have bars.
Not only do they have bars for crew members, they have multiple bars for just crew members that give you cheap ass drinks.
Wait, crew member, what about, if you're working?
Yeah, if you're working,
Okay,
because they don't want crew members like hanging out with like the guests.
Yeah,
Bad thing. So they have 3 bars just for crew members, and then you can buy like alcohol at super discounted rates at all times. So mind you, but they have a strict drinking tolerance policy.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was out at the bars one night, and I work with like a team of like sports staff. We were all kind of rowdy, and there was this new girl on our team, and we were kind of playing around or whatever. And she like threw a little water on me, so I took a cup and like a lot of water, and I threw it on her. But
white girl?
What's up? Yeah, she was from like England or some shit. Whatever.
Yes, sure.
And then like some girl behind her got wet from the water I threw on her, and then reported me to the the ship security and said I threw water on her. Automatically I get reported. They bring me in and breathalyze me. I'm well over that limit, and it was a wrap.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was like that. Just like that. You know what's crazy? I can't pick that girl that reported me out of a lineup. I have no idea who she is. Till this day, I still have.
Oh, this is some Emmett Till type shit.
Yeah, right. And the craziest part is, probably a couple weeks after I got fired, she ended up getting fired for just being a sack of shit. I'm just like, it's a cold world out there. Like you can't.
That cruise life, man.
Yeah, that cruise life is a trip. I had a DJ one cruise. I had to be the DJ on the ship at the club, so I was like, sick DJ, because the DJ that came on board, he only came on the ship because he was talking to this girl. But he gets there, and this girl's talking to this other guy, and he gets super butthurt. And she's like, stop being a bitch. If you're just going to be so sensitive, why don't you just fucking leave? He's like, all right. And the DJ fucking leaves because this girl's hooking up with some other guy. And
wow.
And then I ended up having to be a ship DJ for a cruise. Like,
tell me you enjoyed that for a little bit.
Bro, it was fun. Anytime I wanted people to leave, I would just play Purple Rain by Prince at the bar, and that would be my end the night song.
Oh man, I thought you were about to drop some African joints on him just to fuck with him.
I'd be dropping some. I drop some African shit, some Akuna Male and shit, you know.
That Kofi Olomide or some Dombolo or
some Dombolo. No, I love Africa though. I love African shit, man.
I hope you go back. I mean, I hope.
I'm trying to go back soon enough. I want to go back, so I
when
will.
Shit reopens, I mean, I can't wait. I can't wait to take my son there. That would be a trip. Holy shit! My brother took his daughter there when she was a kid. Actually, they're about to go again, next week. And I'm like, yeah, that's some culture shock, because you don't want to go there and it's you're Oreo and you're a white kid or blah blah blah. Yeah, you don't want that.
Is your kid half white or is it?
Yeah, he's half Arkansas, half African. How's that for a mix?
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I'm like, don't act Arkansas down here. None of this. Yeah, he went to a farm, and he went to Arkansas last month with his mom, and then stay on the farm and all that good stuff. And I'm like, yeah, take you to Africa. It's similar, just more black folks.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think the one thing is that I kind of I didn't spend a lot of time around black people growing up after I left Africa, because I grew up in the suburbs. And
yeah, so same here.
A lot of my black people were African, which African culture is very different than American black culture.
Very different.
Yeah, so it's so different. So I had a lot of African culture, but I didn't have American black culture. So it's then people will say dumbass shit like, oh, you're whitewashed. I'm like, no, I'm just African. It's a very different culture.
But you don't mix.
What's up?
Like I went to UT, and African and African Americans don't even get along.
Bro, we're so different because we're so different. It's just
because we have a history and they kind of don't.
Yeah, well,
they kind of. I mean, no, they build their culture from scratch, pretty much.
Right.
Right. But there is such thing as African American culture, but they have to build it from scratch. We've had one for fucking centuries, if not millennia.
Yeah,
so
it's we are African. This is what we do. You know.
This is what we do. Yeah. This is like fufu and then
fufu na pondu na mbisi tokoliango nyoso.
Oh, you speak it too?
I speak Lingala.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah. Do you speak any other languages?
Yeah, I speak Wolof.
You speak French too or no?
Yeah, fluently. That's why I speak. Yeah.
Okay, because my French is rusty. It's super frustrating. I understand French, but mais non, mon français c'est pas très bien parce que je n'ai pas parlé beaucoup.
Oh, you speak like every African speaking French.
Yeah, exactly.
Je n'ai pas parlé beaucoup. Quand je parle français, je parle comme ça.
Right. Maman dit que j'ai parlé français comme un sanguin.
Comment quoi?
I don't know if it's an African word.
Singe?
No, sanguine. I think it's a word. It's a lingala.
What does it mean?
It's like a. It's almost like you're speaking it almost like a priest, like you're like speaking like you sound like a kind of thing. Like
no, but you have the African speaking French accent, the way you just sounded just now.
I do.
Je parle pas français, mais quand je parle français, je parle comme ça. It's the same. Like you put an emphasis on shit that you don't need to. Like je parle comme ça.
Comme si, comme ça. Yeah, right.
Ouais.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but I mean, Senegal French is still the official language of Senegal.
It's still the official language of Congo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We were colonized by the Belgians, so the Belgians brought over the French, and then we became the Belgian Congo. So fuck them.
Yeah,
fuck the French.
Fuck the French.
How do you feel about the French like national team winning and like racism in French? Because my parents lived in France for a while, and they were like, yeah, they're super fucking crazy racist.
No, yeah, they are. I mean, there is such thing because there is such thing as 100% French, and so growing up, there were cities where we had like an extreme right party, Jean-Marie Le Pen, maybe you heard of him, and then his daughter is now taking over his daughter took over the party, extreme right. And at the time, like they had policies where in cities where the mayor would say, hey, if you can prove that your kids are 100% French, we'll give you some money. Shit like that. So you know what the fuck with those cities, first of all. But the thing about the French are ultra conservative. They don't like change much. Yeah, they really don't. They're so traditional. They like their ways. They like the way things are. They're never happy about shit.
No, they're definitely not.
Never happy about anything. And which is funny. Like right now, people are protesting in the streets because they don't want to take the vaccine.
Right.
They're protesting in the streets with thousands of other people because they don't want to take the vaccine. And they're not vaccinated. They're just never fucking happy. And so but what I like, the French racism is more in your face. Yeah, like you know when you know not to fuck with certain people, certain cities, certain areas, certain neighborhoods, but here it's subtle, which is more dangerous.
The subtle racism, it'll get you.
Yeah, it will. But over there, it's like, yeah, I just want to go to that town because the mayor is from that right-wing extreme right party. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the way it goes, bro. I don't know, man. Like, I don't try to find racism because racism will find you without you having to go look for it. Like, racism will find you. But the French are notoriously bad, so I'm in no rush to go back to France. But
the town I grew up in, the small town, there was only 3 black families in the whole town. I was always the only black. So every time there was some black kid who did some shit in the town, it was either me or the kid from the other black family, from my generation, right? And so I remember my dad, because we lived in a neighborhood, nice neighborhood, big house. My friends would come over, play, and all that stuff. I remember my dad sitting me down, going, "Do you think that if we didn't live in the house like the one we live in with a swing in the back, like that your friends would come here?" He asked me that. I was a little kid, and I'm like, "Yeah, I think they would." Meanwhile, there's this other black family, the third black family, that lived like in an apartment down the street from us, and they only played amongst themselves. They rarely played with other white kids. And so my dad would be like, "Yeah, that's why your friends come here, because they don't play with those kids. They come here because it's a house just like theirs, their backyard like they have, swing like they have, all that stuff." But I was lucky because the people that I met that I was with at the time, like they're my closest friends to this day, and I left 23 years ago.
Damn,
I still talk to them like every other day.
Shit, that's what's up, man. But yo, we've done
an hour and a half. I need to wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm about to wrap it up. I gotta go pee so bad.
Oh, you want to drop your shit?
Yeah, man. You can find me at the Benbo on Instagram. That's THEE Benbo BO. The Benbo on Instagram. Benbo on Facebook. And check out the podcast. We got the Lonely Man's podcast.
You do it by yourself?
No, it's me and 2 other guys from Boston. So other comics. We have guests on there. We got like a Patreon for all the crazy stories that we tell.
Let me get on that. I've been telling, if you have a comedy podcast, you should like be on each other's show.
Yeah, man. I mean, So come on the podcast. We'll hang out and stuff. It's just so check it out. Lonely Man's on Spotify, YouTube, all of the podcast stuff, and we got a Patreon as well. So at the Benbo on Instagram and at the Lonely Man.
Do you have a dope shit?
What was that?
A dope shit to share?
Oh, Dope shit to share.
A book, a website, something dope that you think people should know about. Could be a TV show, could be.
I mean, I guess I'm a big fan of. I'm secretly a big fan of anime, so I feel like.
Oh, me too. I grew up since I was 2 years old.
Everyone should watch some anime. Avatar: The Last Airbender is the greatest TV show.
Oh, we're gonna have to argue about that later.
All right, that's my dope shit.
Avatar is your dope shit.
Nah, yeah, I'm just going with it. My pops liked it, so that's the only show that
I tried, man. It's hard.
That's the only show my pops have ever went back and watched by himself that he cared about. So I still hold it down, and I will take
All
that to the
right,
ground.
so be it. Avatar.
And I will die on the hill that Ben and Jerry's Tonight Dough is the best ice cream flavor of all time. I will die on that hill, and if you got a problem, come see me. Ben and Jerry's Tonight Dough, best ice cream of all time. That's my dope shit. If you're gonna eat ice cream, make it Tonight Dough, or go fuck yourself.
I don't think I have a dope shit. I plugged another one before, but anyway, check out the feedback. Make sure you follow us. I mean, me really. Everyone on social media, BAK, Instagram, all that good stuff. Go to the archives. Ben, thank you for coming, man.
Hey, man,
I really appreciate it. That was fun.
Appreciate you.
We'll talk to you next time. Ciao, ciao.
Peace.